There is one duly elected president of the United States. There's one person who was the first Republican to win the popular vote in 20 years. That person was Donald J. Trump. It is a massive problem when the message being set by the person elected by the American people is lost. It's a massive problem when the direction of the president of the United States is lost. And that is precisely what has happened.
Now, if that wasn't enough to get people's attention, it turns out that during a live interview with Donald Trump on Fox News, host Kay McCanney, who's usually on Trump's side, abruptly walked off the set. Imagine that. She stood up and left while cameras were still rolling, clearly frustrated because Trump was personally attacking her, even calling her a traitor. She made it clear that she couldn't enable the lies anymore, which is a bold move for someone in her position. It's honestly hard to believe he said that out loud. This moment resonated all the way to Fox News itself, a network that's long stood behind Trump.
Insane. Pathetic. A disgrace. I'm Essie Cup. Welcome to Unfiltered. Believe it or not, those were the words right-wing voices used to describe Donald Trump's attack on his own former press secretary, Kayleigh McEnany, this week.
It all went down on Fox News, where millions of viewers tuned in to watch an interview between Trump and a host named McCanney. This was no ordinary chat. McCanney threw some challenging questions at Trump about some serious issues like the Pentagon leaks, a military operation he ordered without getting the proper okay, and even why he refused to testify when asked. Now, it's honestly hard to believe he said that out loud. When you're in a tough spot politically, it's pretty wild when your own biggest supporter, like a media network that's been in your corner for ages, turns against you. That's just what happened here.
Did Fox News just lose one of its most faithful viewers? President Trump taking to Twitter to accuse the network of, I'm quoting now, heavily promoting Democrats. He said that on Twitter, and then he went on to tweet this: the new Fox News is letting millions of great people down. We have to start looking for a new news outlet. Fox isn't working for us anymore.
Trump didn't take kindly to the hard questions and started launching personal attacks on McCanney. He called her arrogant, labeled her a traitor, and claimed she was being disloyal for asking the tough stuff. It's as if he was saying that anyone who challenges him is just fake news. And while all this drama was unfolding live on air elsewhere, the situation was tense too. In Broadview, a suburb, there was an incident involving federal agents and some protesters. Witnesses say things got heated, with federal agents even shoving a couple of people to the ground.
Multiple protests here in Chicago today following the shooting in Minneapolis. The snow and the cold not stopping this movement. Don Hasbrook has details.
In the snow and ice, multiple protests in Chicago after another fatal shooting in Minneapolis.
Shut it down! Shut it down!
The authorities had their hands full as we're still waiting for the weekend crime totals to come in from Chicago. But early reports suggest 6 people lost their lives that weekend, with another 12 injured. It's a mix of chaos and conflict that really shows how precarious things are out there. It's honestly hard to believe what happened on live television. Trump really went off accusing a Fox News host of being a traitor to the Republican Party and claiming she was getting fired. It was a complete meltdown on his part. This host, McEnany, who's been in journalism and politics for years and has handled tough interviews before, had enough of it. She decided right there that she couldn't carry on with the interview, so she took off her microphone, stood up, and just walked off the set while the cameras were still rolling and Trump was still ranting. Producers were scrambling to figure out what to do next.
It was a brutal swipe at someone who was just doing her job. So brutal, in fact, that many on the right came to her defense. Newsmax host Rob Finnerty said, "I don't like it, especially with someone like Kayleigh McEnany, who's seemingly so loyal to her former boss." Fox News host Brian Kilmeade called it insane. Blaze TV host Chad Prather called it pathetic, unacceptable, and unhinged. Trump's former deputy director of communications, Matt Wolking, called it a disgrace.
After the broadcast wrapped up, McCanney shared her thoughts on X, which used to be known as Twitter. She stated, "Journalism demands truth, even from friends." And that really packs a punch. It showed she has been close with Trump and supported him, but she refused to compromise her integrity and journalistic ethics just to cover for him. She couldn't allow herself to be part of something dishonest, so walking away was her choice. That post reached 50 million views, offering a glimpse into just how significant that moment was. 50 million people saw her reason for leaving, and they understood that even Trump's allies are starting to distance themselves from him. This was a signal that Fox News is shifting away from Trump, which is enormous news that could change the narrative. It's clear his situation is becoming more desperate. And this isn't just a one-off occurrence at Fox a few days prior. Another host, Brett Baier, confronted Trump with tough questions that made him irate. Baier even ended the interview saying, "We are done here," and just cut the feed. Then there was another moment when Jesse Waters had to cut off Trump during an interview because he was being uncooperative. This definitely shows a pattern. Fox News hosts and personalities are reaching their limit. They are openly stating that they can no longer defend Trump or support his lies. That's a significant shift, considering Fox has been a stronghold for him. It's honestly hard to believe what's happening with Fox News and Trump. For years, Fox has been his biggest cheerleader, giving him tons of airtime and favorable coverage. They've backed him up throughout his presidency, almost acting like a propaganda outlet for him. But now things have taken a surprising turn. Even Fox News seems to have hit its limit and is starting to distance itself from Trump. What's interesting is that this shift comes on a pretty chaotic day for him. His lead attorney decided to quit. A judge is demanding he testify or face jail time. And he's tangled up in military leaks that are causing quite a stir. On top of that, polls show him losing Pennsylvania by 12 points, and his approval rating is down to 31%. It looks like everything is crumbling around him at once. Fox News described the end of an interview with Trump as a technical issue for safety reasons, but whispers from insiders suggest that's not the whole truth. They claim the network made a conscious choice to cut him off. The situation is so tense that Fox seems to be actively trying to detach itself from Trump, which is a huge deal. One notable moment during this time was when McCanny stated, "I will not enable lies." That right there captures the essence of what's going on. McCanny has come to a point where her integrity outweighs her loyalty to Trump. She realizes that standing for the truth is more important than sticking by him. So, as I dig deeper into this unfolding situation with Fox News, it's clear that even Trump's staunchest media ally is deciding to walk away. If Fox News is pulling back, it's a sign that things for Trump have gotten really dire. It's honestly hard to believe that even one of Trump's most devoted supporters has reached a breaking point. Kay McConney, who used to serve as the White House press secretary and has been a loyal ally for years, is now saying enough is enough. She's defended Trump countless times, promoted him, and stood by his side through thick and thin, but now she's finally throwing in the towel. McKinney points out that this is just too far, too dishonest, too unethical. When somebody like her decides they can't be part of it anymore, it's a pretty big deal. It shows how desperate Trump's situation has become, with even his closest supporters walking away saying, we can't keep doing this. Once the loyalists start to abandon ship, things are shifting dramatically. McCanny had some legitimate questions for Trump, ones any journalist should be asking. She brought up topics like the Pentagon leaks, the classified military actions in Venezuela, and the use of sonic weapons without congressional approval. She even questioned Trump about his refusal to testify under oath and Judge Ingram's order. These weren't unfair or tricky questions. They were serious inquiries about Trump's legal issues and military decisions, focusing on whether his actions were legal and constitutional. However, Trump didn't see them that way. Instead, he perceived her questions as disloyalty, interpreting them as a betrayal. His response was to lash out at McEnany personally. He called her a Reno and a traitor, accusing her of lacking loyalty rather than addressing the actual questions posed. This kind of behavior usually comes from someone who's losing their grip. When you can't defend your position, attacking the questioner seems like the only option left. McEnany recognized that Trump was being unfair, realizing he was targeting her instead of justifying his actions. Ultimately, she made the choice to walk away. So, here's the scoop. It's pretty wild to see how things are changing. Someone named McCanny had enough confidence to step back from something she wasn't comfortable with, and that's commendable. It shows she's prioritizing her journalistic integrity over her ties with Trump. Now, when you look at what's been happening at Fox News, it's clear that there's been some shifting dynamics. Just recently, Brett Baier confronted Trump on February 14th, and there was a moment during an interview with Waters that got abruptly cut off. Then, on February 15th, McCanney actually walked out. 3 Fox News personalities having trouble with Trump in just 2 days. That's no mere coincidence. It's a trend. Fox News as a whole seems to be distancing itself from Trump in a big way. They even claimed a technical issue caused the interview to end. But insiders are suggesting that's not the real story. The chatter is that they're consciously trying to separate from Trump, which paints a different picture than what the network is offering to the public. This shift is significant because Fox News has been a vital source of support for Trump. Their audience relies on them for information, and the network has been a strong advocate for him. If they begin to ask tougher questions and keep him accountable, it could cost Trump his most essential media support. It's honestly hard to believe we're witnessing this kind of turnaround. It's really something to see Fox News, the channel that's had Trump's back for so long, start to pull away from him. This change comes at a time when he's already juggling a lot of issues. He's struggling in key swing states. His approval ratings are diving, and even military leaders are not on his side anymore. We've got Pentagon officials leaking classified info, and Congress is gearing up for impeachment proceedings. To top it all off, his lead attorney just called it quits, and he's staring down the barrel of contempt of court and possible jail time. Then there's the statement from McCanney, where she made it clear she won't support lies anymore. You can't underestimate how big that is. She's basically saying Trump is lying, and she refuses to be part of that dishonesty. She's drawing a firm line and saying she won't compromise her integrity to defend him. That sentiment has reached 50 million people, half of America. It's going to be a hot topic for days. And it's not just her. I can't help but think there are other folks at Fox News feeling the same way. A lot of Trump loyalists and people close to him might be coming to the same realization too. There's a sense that Trump is in deep trouble, spinning more lies, making poor choices, and pushing away those who are trying to support him. It seems a lot of them might be considering jumping ship. The shift happening over at Fox News is a big deal because it sets a new standard. It's showing other media outlets that it's all right to challenge Trump, and it encourages journalists to ask the hard questions for those in Trump's circle. It's sending a message that it's okay to step back. Once that barrier is broken, we can expect to see more people distancing themselves from Trump and confronting the lies he's been telling. This is quite a pivotal moment for Trump's political situation and for how the public views him. The significance of Fox News turning on him truly marks a major change in the news landscape. So Fox News has been the last big fan for Trump, standing by him through thick and thin. They've really been the ones defending him, and if they ever decide to turn their backs, it could spell disaster for him. Imagine losing the platform where he usually shares his message and connects with his supporters. Canini walking out was quite the statement. It looks like even Fox News is starting to pull away from Trump. This is a person who has always been in his corner, defending him at every turn. And yet, here she is saying, I can't support the lies anymore. That's a huge moment. It shows that even those closest to him can't overlook the truth. When a loyalist like McCanney claims that good journalism requires honesty, even with friends, it speaks volumes. She's prioritizing her ethical duty over her personal ties with Trump, which is something many journalists might take to heart. What's particularly striking is the shift happening at Fox News when 3 different hosts express their issues with Trump in just 2 days. It's not just a fluke. It's a sign of a strategy in action. Fox is clearly making a decision to step back from Trump and isn't going to continue as his mouthpiece. This is quite the timing, considering Trump is in the midst of impeachment proceedings and facing serious consequences. With Fox News distancing itself, it makes things a lot tougher for Trump. Losing media support means he has fewer defenses, and controlling the narrative becomes nearly impossible. So this turnaround at Fox not only complicates Trump's situation, but also makes impeachment and possible removal from office more likely. It's a challenging moment for him, for sure. Losing control of the message is a game changer. It can really swing the narrative against you. When that happens, It's tough to keep your base energized and supportive. The thing is, Trump's base is glued to Fox News. They depend on that channel for their information. And when Fox News starts to challenge Trump, it raises eyebrows. If they get tough with him, that could shake things up for his supporters. They might start to question his leadership. And that's a big deal. This isn't just about McCain walking out of an interview. It's much deeper than that. It's a sign that the media's tone is shifting away from Trump, which means he's struggling to defend himself and hold on to the political support he needs. With everything going on, it seems like Trump is facing a real crisis point. The timing couldn't be worse, especially with Congress gearing up to vote on impeachment soon. As Congress gets ready to vote on the articles of impeachment, Trump is watching his media support slip away. Even Fox News is beginning to turn against him, adding fuel to the fire. His lead attorney has quit, leaving him in a tight spot, and his approval rating is no diving. In swing states, polls show him trailing, adding more pressure. And to make matters worse, military leaders are starting to resist, with Pentagon officials leaking sensitive information. This all unfolds right as Congress is poised to cast their votes. They're stepping into this vote amidst a landscape where Trump appears to have lost almost all support. The media, legal backing, and confidence from military leadership. He's standing alone, and it doesn't look good. That isolation leaves him weak and vulnerable, which likely means Congress will push through with impeachment. If it goes this way, the Senate may very well decide to remove him from office. With everything crumbling around him, the chances of them convicting him are high. And then we might see the invocation of the 25th Amendment. If Trump somehow manages to hold on, it's unclear how long that could last. Right now, we're witnessing the complete breakdown of Trump's political support, and it's pretty clear he's losing every single base of supporters he once had. The reality of his presidency is crumbling, and this whole situation is playing out in real time. The recent walkout by Fox News is a huge symbol of his downfall. It shows that even his staunchest allies are turning their backs on him. This is where things get really serious. The institutions of government are finally stepping up to hold Trump accountable. What we're seeing is the aftermath of Trump's overreach. He pushed too hard and ignored the constitutional limits on his power, and now he's facing the music for it. The system is responding to check his authority. And it all began when Kay McEnany decided she wouldn't enable lies anymore. Her choice to prioritize her integrity over her ties to Trump has set off a chain reaction, a decision that inspires other journalists and shifts the media narrative. It's changing how people see Trump and significantly contributing to his political demise. This is the pivotal moment we should all be paying attention to. Everything started to unravel on Sunday night when Kay McEnany walked off the set of Fox News Sunday, marking the beginning of the end for Trump's presidency. It's bound to get wild from here on.